Operation Paperclip, we brought 1,600 German SS officers, scientists. They pretty much started a lot of our programs, like the MK Ultra program. I don't know if you know about all that or not, but
I've heard a little bit about it. I want to see what you know about it.
These are all the MK Ultra program. Bill Clinton, when he was president, apologized for it. I mean, it's all open now. Well, what happened was they were experimenting on human beings with mind control through torture and drugs and all kinds of stuff. And they learned it from the Nazis, the real society Nazis that came over here, that we brought over here after the war. So it came out that they had test sites. They were recruiting college kids, some with knowledge and some without. People got killed, but they were trying to create Jason Bourne mind-controlled assassins is what they were doing, and they did it.
Like I've heard Sirhan and these guys. Was he a mind control for this?
Yeah.
And
get this. Of course, who headed up the CIA at one point? George Herbert Walker Bush, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, one of his next door neighbors was Hinckley, and Hinckley tried to shoot President Reagan. And guess when they shot President Reagan? President Reagan's inaugurated in January, right, of 81, right? He's inaugurated. Bush is his vice president. He didn't want to take Bush as his vice president, but the party kind of forced it. 1 month later, in February, he's shot by Hinckley, who just happens to be a neighbor of George Herbert Walker Bush, and it's believed that he was one of that Hinckley was in the MK Ultra program, which is why they all have this dazed look when it's all over with, like they don't know what happened.
I've heard read something about the guy that shot John Lennon was supposedly in that too, and so he was in it, and then Sirhan, because
right. Well, what's interesting, you remember the movie? It came out in '93. Mel Gibson and what's her name? Why do I always forget that actress with the big mouth? Julia Roberts, and Mel Gibson, called Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, I do remember that movie. Yes, I do remember that.
He was an MK Ultra, and they talk about it in the movie, how it all came out in the 70s, and then the CIA director at the time burned like 200,000 documents, got rid of them. But there's still documents. If you go on the CIA website right now, go to the reading room where the Freedom of Information Act documents are. I've done this. And you type in MK Ultra, you'll find there's documents all over the place about it.
So what about my favorite ones I've studied since I was a kid, the Kennedy assassination in Dallas.
Yeah. No, there's a great documentary on that where you know that it wasn't one person. It wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald by himself, because the car was riddled with bullets. JFK was hit multiple times. And the CIA, see what happened, what people don't know, it's real simple. What happened was the CIA was running an operation to overthrow Cuba without his authorization, the Bay of Pigs incident. And when it got too hot for them, and they were getting beat back by Castro, they wanted Kennedy. Then they called Kennedy and told him and said, "We need warships down here." Kennedy said, "No way! You got yourself into the mess. You're getting yourself out." He refused to send warships. So a bunch of CIA agents got killed, and all this stuff went down. That team of CIA agents that included George Herbert Walker Bush went to Dallas after that to set up his assassination. And there's been CIA agents that were there that tell you, "I was there, and here's what went down." So we know it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald was their fall guy. That's all he was. Somebody
as a shooter? Or?
I think he was involved, but I think there's no way, and you and I both know this, all right? The shot he made, all right, you would have to be an expert marksman to make that shot. And even if he made that shot, that magic bullet that blew off the back of Kennedy's head there, didn't run down his body, through his arm, out his hand. They call it the magic bullet. Right? That didn't happen that way. They made sure Kennedy They made sure Kennedy got shot, and there was, and all the witnesses there said they heard shots from everywhere.
How many times do you think he got shot?
They said in the documentary it was 10 or more times.
Got shot 10 times?
Yeah.
Where do you think they had all the shooters located at? I've been to Dealey Plaza.
Well, you know, there's a picture of a guy that looks, it's kind of fuzzy, but, you know, one of the famous pictures from that day, and it looks like George Herbert Walker Bush standing on the sidewalk.
I've seen the picture this year.
Yeah. But, you know, here's the thing. That one, I don't even argue about it. I'm just like, look, John F. Kennedy decided to go against the New World Order, the Illuminati people, their whole program, and he decided he was going to base our currency on silver and gold. He was getting rid of the Federal Reserve. He was going to get rid of it and actually free America from the banksters. And that just signed his death warrant. I mean, it's not complicated. Anybody that's gone against them gets a bullet in the head. It's just the way it goes.
How long do you think that they? I mean, how well thought out was this? You know, because they had to change the medical evidence.
Well, you know that documentary. I'd have to find. I watched that documentary like 12 years ago or something. One of the things they said that because Lyndon Johnson was in on it, and the Secret Service, some of them were in on it. That when they got his body on the plane, that they actually manipulated his body and stuff to make it, to try to do away with that evidence. That's why, look, the magic bullet ends up on his stretcher while he's in the hospital. Now, come on. Really? It's laying beside him all nice and pristine. There's the magic bullet that from Oswald's gun that shot him.
I thought it came out of Conley's leg.
No, they had it laying on a gurney with him, with his body.
Went through Kennedy and went through Conley. So
that's what I'm saying. There's so many inconsistencies. But again, to me, I just tell people, I said, look, do I believe Lee Harvey Oswald was alone in that? No way.
Let me ask you about another thing. What about because I remember watching this one time when I was a kid. It's been years ago. It's called The Plot to Kill Wallace. That Arthur Bremer was.
Oh yeah.
Anything about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, to tell you the truth, even though that's Alabama stuff, I hadn't looked into like that particular shooter and what happened, but you know, I don't put past anybody doing anything. There's probably Nixon was behind it. He hated Wallace. Wallace was, you know, threatening to take some of the southern states in the primary, and you know, so I don't put it past them to have plotted that out. It's rare that somebody's just, you have a lone psycho that decides to go shoot people. It does happen, but there's usually 9 times out of 10 there's some more players involved. You know,